come from my own personal experience. And even though people may think that I didn't pay my dues or whatever, you don't know my story. And everyone has a story.
What is going on, everybody? We're back once again with another edition of Sunday Night Spotlight, brought to you by Wrestling Republic. I am stoked to be here. We have our all-time coolest guest of all time, number one of all time, literally, not even figuratively. First, I'm going to introduce my co-host because we're going to get into this right away. From the DMV, get your twos up for the Tuesday Night Delight himself. Shadi, what's going on?
What's going on, Brody? I'm here and I'm super excited for this, man. I hold up. Someone's gonna need to call my mama, bro. This is a crazy guest that we got.
I cannot wait to introduce her. It's the queen of all trades. It is Ariane herself, formerly known as Cameron, but you should know her as Ariane Andrew right now. What's going on?
What is poppin'? Okay, wait, hold on. You said Ariane.
I said on the whole pre-show and I messed it up in the middle of the intro. My deepest apologies. The wildest part is I actually rehearsed that in my head at the beginning of the show. That one's on me. I owe you one.
Leave it to the American guy not knowing how to pronounce
names.
That's
just a whiff. I was a college golfer. That's a whiff.
Well, you know what? It's all good because most people they say my name wrong all the time. So you know what? I'm gonna give you a pass. I'm not gonna hit you with the girl vibe, but I'm gonna give you a pass.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. Ariane is in the building. Got it this time. Now we're talking. Okay, let's get right into this though. We got a lot to discuss here. Let's talk about how you got into wrestling in the first place before we start talking about other stuff, because you have a lot going on. But I always like to lead with what brought you to professional wrestling out of the gates?
Yeah, so I mean, I always knew. I mean, let's just go back. Let's just address, things that people already talk about, which is okay, me not really knowing how to wrestle, and my favorite match, which was Melina versus Alicia Fox. All these things that I think kind of gave me like a big, just like, I don't know, like hit to the face before I could even really prove myself. Back then, I feel like a lot of the women came from like a modeling background or got into wrestling, but for some reason, I feel like I kind of got like that. I don't know, got the business, and I fell in love. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved entertainment, and I've always loved the aspect of being physical. I used to run track and cross country, and then also all the stuff that WWE does as far as giving back, like Special Olympics. I used to work with autistic children, and just like having like that athletic background, I just felt like this was something that was exciting, and just watching how people would put their bodies on the line. I'm like, okay, this is a little bit of entertainment, but it's also very physical, and I'm also very competitive. So I feel like if you want to rewind, that's how I got into wrestling.
It's a beautiful combo too. It makes perfect sense. Like, I was a former athlete and I worked Special Olympics as well myself. Like, what an amazing like cause and background there. But with your talent musically as well, entertainment, as you mentioned, all those interests combined into one, it just makes perfect sense. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the start, there's the dog, by the way. Gotta love that.
Who loves that dog?
Monster shout out.
Should I go grab him? Because
No,
not
grab him. Yeah. Look,
you could do. Hey, he could be part of the
sounds like he needs some love.
He is literally like looking at someone. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
You're good. No, you got it. No worries. You're totally good.
This is what happens having like a new little puppy. I think I'm just getting used to it, so I'm like ignoring it. But you guys are like, hey, we're doing an interview here. So
you're good.
Cash, go ahead and say hello.
What's going on, Cash?
What's going on, Cash?
He loves
Cash
all the attention.
By the way, Cash is looking money, pun intended.
Yes, he is Cash Money.
I love that. Absolutely.
2000. Speaking of you mentioned yourself. You are a woman of all trades, the jack of all trades.
Come on now.
The queen of all trades. I'm sorry. Do you do HVAC too? I'm not sure. Music is a big special part of my heart. I'm a musician. I used to be part of battle rap and all of that. I kind of want to talk about that. What are your inspirations when it comes to music, dancing, and the entertainment aspect? Because that's something that I'm super intrigued, because you're a very talented artist as well. I've listened to some music. You got some hits on you as well. But what kind of draws your inspiration when it comes to making music and all that?
Yeah, so initially for me, making the music was just something to stand out. I think we all, at the end of the day, know like what we're really strong at doing, what we're, what we lack. Even though people are sometimes like afraid to say that based on ego. And at that time, don't quote me on this, I didn't know any woman who had ever really like did their entrance music and had like their voice. And I was like, you know what? I've always loved music, but I just knew I was more of an entertainer more than a vocal performer. So I just felt like it was something that would be different. And I don't know, I guess I just got my inspiration from like, even though my music isn't based on this, but I always loved Michael Jackson. God rest the legend. I did his music video back when I was like 5 called Heal the World. And I've always loved like the artists from like back in the days. Like if you want to throw it back to like the 2000s, where I feel like music really had meaning and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of my inspiration kind of came from that, but also adapting, because now we live in a different day and age and you just have to adapt. You can't stay back in the past. The legends will be the legends, but also people kind of want what they want. So it's like giving people what they want, but also, staying true to myself.
Oh, I love that.
That's awesome. I didn't realize you was in
So cool.
that video too. That's pretty dope.
It was literally like 5, like so quick. I was part of background, but it was still super awesome to be like, at 5, I did Michael Jackson's.
That's MJ. That's an icon. That's,
by the way,
the greatest musician of all time.
Not a lot of people can just be like, I was in one of the Michael Jackson videos. Like, not a lot of people have that one on the resume, on the bingo card, for lack of a better way to put it. That is so cool, and such a cool. It's all good. We're dog owners. You're fine.
It's
don't
just,
even.
What is happening? You know what? I'm going to.
Yeah.
Wow, this interview is just giving what it needs to give. Sorry,
we're dialed.
I've never done an interview with him because he's my little new puppy.
He might be the star, by the way.
We breaking records over here. We are the first interview with the homie Cash. This is Cash's debut.
This is actually Cash's debut.
Yeah, man, he making a statement right now.
Well, I actually think he's only upset about being not on screen. That's the only thing that I could think of. I get that. Me, I'm ham for the camera.
I'm back. Okay,
I totally get it.
I mean, honestly, this is a great thing. Like, I honestly wish this was live, because I feel like this is like real stuff that people deal with that are so afraid to be like, everything's perfect, because it's real. This is just not life.
No, we all have real lives.
Thank y'all for being patient, because I just realized this is my first interview since having him. So
doesn't bug us in the least.
I'm honored to have been the first interview with Cash on site. Like that's
also got
cool.
2 huge pet owners and fans of good pets. So like, trust me, the last 2 people that are gonna be offended by this at all.
My cats. We were talking about earlier. They be making appearances all the time. So
my dog broke my equipment like a month and a half ago, unintentionally, but she's just big. It gets a size issue.
What happens when you're a fur parent?
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal. Okay, by the way, speaking of, I got another question here because it's funny, and I didn't bring it up, but I gotta come clean. Me and my mom binged Total Divas during the pandemic. Okay. Absolutely. That was our thing. She lived close to me, 15 minutes away. I drive over there. We watch Total Divas. My mom is the biggest Ariane Cameron fan I know. My mom was a dancer. She's a pom-pom girl at SMU and choreographer, all of that. Loves you. That show, my question though isn't about that. I just really actually wanted to gas you up for that. But more than anything, my question is, what is it like filming a freaking reality show? That has to be wild.
Yeah. Especially thinking about the time when we were doing it, when reality TV. Sorry, I just was like from running with Cash, but it's okay. We're just going however my hair is right now. It's very different because you're literally putting your life in front of so many people to see, and also like going through, I don't know, like, preparing. At that time, we literally were preparing for like WrestleMania, and that was the time we started shooting. So it was just so much to take in all at once. But definitely very exciting. Like, I'm so appreciative of all the girls. You kind of create like the sister bond. I mean, you already have this bond, but like doing something together, something that people have never seen before. I give all the girls like their kudos, because also doing something like that, it puts you in a place for the pros and the cons, for people to say all the negative things, say all the positive things, but you're doing it as a team and together. And I think that's what was so special about it, is that none of us had ever experienced that. So it's like, okay, we're the first, and we're taking everything from the negative stuff to the positive things. So I will definitely say it was an experience, and God, there's even so much more to that, but I'm gonna just leave it at there, because it's just like more like personal stuff that I had going on at the time.
And it's very cool too. I love that, the way that you broke that down, because one thing as like an outsider, right? I was on the road traveling myself while the show was airing live, right? I watched it consecutively, like in the pandemic with my mom, right? And so whatever that may be, one thing I wouldn't have considered is the way you mentioned the bond with the rest of the cast. That is so cool to hear that's the way, you know what I mean? Like, that's the way that you, because you're right, like you mentioned, it's all on the line, right? All the time. It's not, now it's your personal life
also
and your job.
Also to that, like, I got to give you flowers for a second. Y'all cast of women really like revolutionized like women's wrestling in the standpoint, like, everyone talks about women's wrestling now, everyone talks about Trish, Lita, and all those from the past, but like that era of like divas who are on a reality TV show, and y'all just being 100% authentic to yourselves, going through like the arguments, the laughs, and all of that. That's so cool to do, man. And like, you gotta, if anything, you have to look at yourself as a legend, even though a lot of people don't look at themselves as legends. But you really,
I mean, me, a legend, as much as, come on now, y'all. I mean,
maybe even reality TV though. I'm
like,
just saying, by the way, to your credit,
you and Trent were like my favorite characters on the show, because y'all, like, it's just, and it's the same, it's that energy. Y'all brought good, fun energy to the show, and it was always we know you were being authentic within yourselves, whatever, how people portray shit on TV. Like, it's always dope to see on that.
When you even mentioned the part about like, like, I'm not going to get into, you had personal stuff going on or whatever, you handled it with grace. In my eyes, if you actually watched the whole show, you handled it with pure grace and were entertaining throughout. So what more can you ask in the world of a person?
And I appreciate that. And I think a lot of times, not to take this deep, but I feel like a lot of times, like when you're on camera, especially, like, I know this is what you signed up for, right? When people were like, well, this is what you signed up for, but it doesn't take away that you're still a human being, right? It doesn't take away that you go through things, you go through stuff just like the normal everyday person goes through. Like, there's no difference between someone who's on TV, someone who's an A-list celebrity, however you want to categorize it. We're all the same people. Like, how we were brought in this world is how we're going to leave this world, and we all share common stuff. So just because someone is getting TV time or being elevated to be on this pedestal doesn't mean that they don't go through like everyday life stuff. And I think that's sometimes where things get like, it gets like mixed and like blinded, that like everyone, like, we were all still human beings at the time, going through already the process of going on the road 300 days out the year, being exhausted, putting our bodies on the line, but also like doing something that was so different, and then broadcasting your life for people to take it however they want to take it. You know what I mean? Especially when WWE never let you go behind the scenes, never let it's like an onion. They never let you peel behind the layer. So it's like we were the first to do it. So it's like, of course, there's going to be like a lot of scrutiny. And it,
Oh,
we
it-
were,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
like,
I would
I
say
heard stories.
pioneers
Vince
because
used to get
now
mad
it's
at people.
like,
They just post pictures with their like family from
yeah.
back in the day. Like it's
Well, I mean,
definitely.
no pictures at airports, stuff like that. I remember that as a kid or
Mm,
whatever. Like, and I'm not an airport autograph seeker. I've never been that guy. But I do remember I used to travel with my dad as a kid, and
yeah.
we got on a rental car bus with the Big Show. And right, I'm 7 years old on a business trip with my dad, and I'm like, that's the Big Show. And he's like, right, but don't bother him. It's
yeah,
6
they
a.m.,
do is
buddy.
like you were saying.
Like, right, but like he's just right. Like, yes, it is, but don't go up and like don't stop. It's 6:45 in the morning. He's returned his rental car. He's trying to get on a plane. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I mean, everyone's
And
very different, you
now
know?
there's certain things like
Sure.
there's time and place. I think autographs and all those things are cool. That was not my point there, but right, it's real life to your point, right?
Mhm.
And you guys were the very first ever put on that pedestal, or not even pedestal, but like put in that
Yeah,
spotlight,
you set the bar on it.
right?
And then you see a lot of reality shows after that
Incredible.
too. So definitely. Question though, obviously, you're still, a bit in the wrestling space. Believe it's a luxury wrestling promotion that you handle called, in the words of Sexy Red, Pound Town Wrestling.
Pound Town.
Um, I know she on NXT, Sexy Red. You might as well make a appearance over there. But I want to, kind of talk about that. How did you, come into the idea of making it? It's so unique and different, and I find it so interesting. Like a lot of people are gonna, people will be like, "Oh, wow, that's different," but it's dope to hear.
So yes, at that time, Sexy Red, shout out to her. I know she gets like a lot of scrutiny, but I feel like what I love about her, she's just like authentically herself. I mean, how many people do you find? I feel like nowadays everyone's trying to be like the next this. And at the end of the day, no matter if you resonate with it or you don't, original is worth more than a copy. And at that time, I just wanted to create PTW, aka Pound Town Wrestling, aka PTW, because I wanted to give people an opportunity to be seen and heard. You can't help how you're born, you can't help your race, you can't help your height. Certain things that can be very limiting when it comes to entertainment, and why not create something that is luxury, right? No, everything has like a niche, or everybody has a lane. Independence has always kind of been a little bit more of like, I guess you can say like the underground, right? It's not the luxury, it's not WWE, it's not AEW, it's not TN, it's not the luxury, right? But I was like, why can't it be luxury? Why can't there be something fresh and new that gives people an opportunity, but also people who are not really into wrestling, allowing them to also become a part of our world, being in the world of wrestling, it's very niche, and I was like, okay, putting it in a club. So if you necessarily don't like wrestling, you have the red carpet, you have like the photo booth 360, you have the bar, you have the bottle service, you have the DJ, you have the host. So you're still enjoying yourself while also getting a show. So just creating something that's never been done and having fun with it. I feel like as much as people will say, how I got into the business, but I don't feel like it's how you get in. It's not where you start, it's how you end. And even though initially I never grew up being like, I'm going to become a professional superstar in the world of wrestling, but it's something I really grew to love and decided to be like, you know what? It's something I still love. Why not create something that I believe in, where I have creative direction? And I also give, the talent the opportunity to create their storylines. It's like we're all not going to get what we want. Life is just not like that. It's unfair. But why not give them an opportunity to create storylines? Also giving them backstage promos, things that the indies lack. Because I feel like respect the people, everybody who puts their bodies on the line, right? Everyone deserves respect because that's very taxing on the body. I don't care if you love someone, hate someone, indifferent. All these people who wrestle are putting their bodies on the line for the sake of making sure people are entertained. So I'm like, you know what? Let's make sure if people are getting this entertainment, there's an investment and that there's something that everyone's taking away from it, which is not just okay doing moves, but it's like, okay, let's create something where people are invested. So even if someone doesn't watch wrestling, they understand who's the good guy, which I know this is for the wrestling community, but the good guy who is the babyface or the bad guy who is the heel. So no matter if you come from the world of wrestling, you get what is happening. You watch the promo, you watch the segment, and then you have this story to connect. And that's just something that I felt, sorry, I get like super passionate because I just feel like that's something that was missing in the indies.
I absolutely love this. Sorry, wait, Sean, are you back? Do we have a technical difficulty?
Yeah,
here?
I'm back.
There he is. He's back. Okay.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi.
No,
dropped
but I
for a
love
second.
this.
I'm
But
sorry.
what I wanted to say is this: it's like the Weston is awesome, but the W is the cool one. It's brilliant. The upscale independent promotion, the way that you've positioned it, it's genius and it's one of one. And I don't know if people understand it yet, but I'm sure they will. Like
Yeah.
it just makes sense, right? It's logical. It's the upscale version. It's the better version of, and not that it's a knock on the rest of the indies or anything.
No, not
It's
at
just
all.
that the product is more luxury. It's higher end. I mean,
yeah, something that, like you
I
said,
think
it
it's
could be a
absolutely brilliant.
party, it could be an event. Like it's just a big fun event. I have
Where
one.
it brings everyone together, where it's not
Mhm,
so like say for people who don't understand our world, right? Because wrestling is
mhm.
it's a very
It's
eclectic,
niche.
yeah, world to be in. And if people who don't watch, they're like, I don't really get it. But people who get it, right? But
Yes.
wanting to create something like, even if you don't get it, you're like, this is fun. This is exciting.
Yes.
And it's easy to follow. But also, I see how hard, and respectfully, I didn't come from the indies. So I can't base it off of like a personal experience. So I can't say,
Right.
oh, I can come from my own personal experience. And even though people may think that I didn't pay my dues or whatever, you don't know my story. And everyone has a story. But one thing I respect about the people in the indies, if you look at the people who have went to, like, were in the indies, who have made it to the big leagues, they've gone through some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm like, why not give people who are, and let me make this clear. I'm not trying to be WWE, not trying to, sorry if I'm getting a little aggressive right now, because
No, I love
nah,
it.
chill.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's get going.
talk your shit. That's
Let's
all I like to
no,
go.
say.
it's just because I'm passionate, and I hate also too when people are like, "Oh, she's not passionate." I'm like, okay, if I wasn't passionate, I wouldn't
She
be.
is.
This shit is not easy, okay?
Yeah,
It
Yes,
is not
ma'am.
cheap. But I'm not trying to be the next. What I want to do also with, and shout out to my co-executive creator, which is Hunter Gallagher. The thing of what, when we're thinking about like vision is, why not give these people in the indies more money,
mhm.
hair and makeup, and food, and take care of them? That way they feel like as they're trying to make it to the big leagues, it feels good and you don't get burnt out. You don't
Mhm.
feel like your talent or your worth is not enough. And
Yes.
that is what I'm trying to create. Not, I'm a lane of my own, but trying to just like, okay, cool, you can be an amazing wrestler, but okay, let's now like take it a step deep. Like as I start to build, I want to provide them with like acting classes, because let's create your character. Let's because you can move, you can jump, sir, you can do the craziest stuff, but how do you command? How are you a Charlotte when you come out? How are you like, look at the people
Yeah,
who have gotten to where they've gotten to. It's because they're not just wrestling, they are embracing the character development. You know what I mean? So also
I
talk about
think
and,
character development
and
too,
like
right?
and like
I'm
and
with you. I think
like I told
storytelling
you
is the
earlier,
heart
don't tell yourself you're
of
not
this
a legend,
business.
man. You are
You
definitely
are.
a legend. You leaving a mark in the industry that's even going past what you've done in WWE and all the other stuff like that. we take pride on this show because we interview so many incredible independent talent, and you creating an avenue for them to make money, put food on the table for their families, get exposure, and develop as wrestlers. That's some legendary shit. So,
I'm in agreement.
I'm giving you a pat on the
like,
back for yourself on that.
I've
It's
always
amazing.
thought the coolest thing you can do in any endeavor is to leave the place you went better than you found it. And that is something that you are doing.
Now,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
And I think that's amazing.
Do you still watch the current product at the moment?
If I'm being honest, full transparency, because that's just me, which gets me in trouble. I never like to lie to kick it. I don't watch it avidly, but I do keep up via social media.
Okay.
So I mean, because I just got so much. Also with like PTW. Woo! Like when people say it is very difficult. It is not easy.
When it's on every night now, it's like, interesting.
It is
it's
hard.
on every night now. Even us,
my
right?
wife yelling at me.
We're
She's like, "You
to talk about it. It's on every night."
I was like, "I gotta do it for the shows."
It's like unavoidable. Okay, final question. I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
One thing.
One more.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But ask me, because I'm already gonna know. Because even though I'm not watching avidly for that amount,
with the current product going on, obviously your former tag team partner is she's gone heel, right? Mm-hmm. Or she's gone babyface. I don't know how people want to tell them the story. I'm looking at a potential match, maybe. Y'all reunite, maybe y'all versus a Jade and Bianca. Would that spark interest for you?
Oh my god, I just got chills.
Same.
I know this will always be a forever question because people know me always connected to, like, I say it's my big sister. It's my sister from another mister. Even though I'm a little bit older, she's my big sis. I've always been inspired by her. Always loved. Trin is amazing. Inside, outside the ring, talent, personality, just an amazing human being. I have said this, and I will say it before, I would love at some point, and especially not to backtrack, but kind of, and I'm gonna bring it back together. I think it's been dope kind of seeing, not as of recently, but how you think about like when I came back for the Rumble, and you're combining worlds, right? The world of WWE, like combining different promotions and stuff like that. I would love, even though, PTW is not officially established, to come back and do something with my girl. I don't know in what shape or form, but I would love that. I would love to do something with Naomi. I definitely feel before the boots are hung up, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit lost for words. I guess I get a little like,
that book isn't closed.
That's
right.
And
that book
honestly,
ain't closed yet.
That just crossed my mind when they told me that, I got the honor to have you on the interview. I was like, man, that would be so dope. Just knowing y'all's history, going against like a Jade and Bianca, it would just be a monumental match. And I think
a story that's got one of those cool feather bookmarks in it.
And before we get to the last question, you being someone who's like a lot of the women in your era, I would have loved to see you guys get an opportunity to wrestle in this era just because the TV time and TV allocated is so much more. I feel like y'all could really even shine more as stars. And you're one of the wrestlers, like, I would highly wish that, like, you got an opportunity to get to show why you're as special as you are on the reality TV shows, even more of that as a character, as a wrestler on TV. Like we review NXT, even you shaking it up with a lot of girls down there would be, crazy. It'd be spectacular to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like I'm like a little, like you're like a little kid and you're like super excited. I feel like a little bit of like nerd because it's so funny because I feel people get such a bad rep based on like where I came, like, like my starting, but not realizing how much of a geek I become.
How much you put in.
So, man, it's so interesting because I feel like even after leaving, there's a little bit more confidence, especially starting PTW. Like the last match I did, I was like, let's go. Let me get superplex through a door. Like, you know what I mean? Like things that people never got a chance to see and see me like wanting to do. I would love that. NXT, I mean, NXT has come such a far way. Real far way. I mean, you think about too, like someone like a legend like Natty, who's gone back down there to help elevate talent. Like there's so many girls who've gone back down to help bring the new talent up. I mean, look at Tiffany, like right now. I mean, she's definitely become a major star.
And she's something that she's character-wise something that is from y'all's era.
Yes, but her skills though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Gymnast.
I'm a Tiffany Stratton truther. I got in an argument with two podcasters last week. They were hating on Tiffany because of the whole Charlotte Flair. They said Charlotte Flair chewed her up. I'm like, look, some people have a tough day in a promo, but that woman, there's a reason why she's a champion. They're putting her in a WrestleMania.
I got to give Shad mad credit, though, by the way. When we first started our Tuesday night post show for NXT, Tiffany Stratton was on NXT, and she was just sort of one of the bunch. Like, at the time, right? Like, not that, whatever. I'm not saying she was, like overlooked or anything. But we had a specific segment called Tiffy Tuesday with Shad.
It's Tiffy Tuesday.
Well, before she was a star.
This was
like 2.5 years ago.
That's something to attest to, though. People, I sometimes feel like, who get the back burner or get like the business. Now look, you know what I mean? And this is the thing. Like everyone has their strengths. Some days are going to be. Some days are great. Some days are bad. You also have to like. I don't think people take enough into account. Every single person respect. I don't care if you're on that roster, you're dealing with having a family life, having a personal life, being on the road, getting no sleep. You don't like people don't
the travel.
People don't take into account that all these people are still human beings. They're not robots. And sometimes I feel like the hate that's given, I'm like, you know what? You go do it. Go do it for a day, and then let me see how you feel. Now go ahead and do it for 300 days, and now years. You know what I mean? Like,
to your point, it's like go do a tour and don't even wrestle. See if you can handle the travel. Don't even wrestle. Go muddle around in that.
I got ganged up on that show, but I got
handle the travel.
I got a legend on my side defending me, so I'm clipping this and showing it to them and be like, eat that, all right?
Okay. We're gonna come for you and be like, legend. Oh, let me. You're about to now get some more. You're gonna get some more heat.
Okay, Ariane, you've already given us well more than the time we even asked for, which totally means we probably need an episode 2 eventually. But before we get out of here, I gotta ask you about passes because that's what we're plugging here. And when this episode airs, it will be official. I feel like I know a secret, which makes me feel cool.
Yes. So passes. It's something where you can get to really know me. I feel there's so much that people have only seen based on if it's social media, whether it's been on Total Divas or WWE, where I'm peeling back the layers to get to really know me. So you definitely want to check out passes.com to just see something completely different. I'm taking things to a new level. You're getting behind the scenes from everything, wrestling, fitness, the whole nine. Even if you maybe want something a little like, hey girl, hey, but keeping it classy and always sassy. And also too, I know that you guys are probably gonna do this, but follow me across the board at Ariane Andrew. And also stay tuned for the next show. And for PTW.
Thank you so much again for everything. We really appreciate it. Check out passes when you see this. Go follow Ariane. Can I get the Instagram follow back, by the way? Just out of curiosity. I'm sorry. I just got the blue check and the big ass. I'm totally joking. But
by the way, I just realized when I said and PTW, but that's a whole nother conversation.
You're all good. You've got 700,000 Instagram followers. I have 699. You could be 700.
And don't forget, when you say her name, she's the queen of all trades. But now,
The queen
after today,
of all
after
trades.
this show, you have to put the L word there. Legend. The legend.
Legendary
the
queen of all trades. Ariane.
Blessing to have you.
I just
Thank
did
you
it
so
again.
much for your time.
Ariane. What in the world is wrong with me? I
You know
can't
what?
read.
I got you. We kicking him out the show. This is the legend, the queen of all.
No, that's bogus. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read the teleprompter. I know it's Ariane, and I keep reading it phonetically like it's hooked on phonics, and it's my fault, and I apologize, but it's Ariane Andrew, the goat of all goats, our favorite guest of all time, formerly known as Cameron. That doesn't even matter anymore. It's Ariane. Like I said, every single time. Ben, edit out the times I messed it up. Okay, but seriously, that does bring us to the end of the show. Check out all of our other stuff. If you don't check out passes, you're an idiot. And that will bring us to the end of today's Sunday Night Spotlight. Thank you so much again. And we will talk to everybody soon.